I have the wrong sandwich in front of me, so I can't do DSP tries it. This is completely wrong. So first off, for those who don't know, let's just get right into, a full explanation. Marvel Tokon is the brand new fighting game from ArcSys. This is the same company that makes games like Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and Dragon Ball Fighter. It has all of the Marvel property, the Avengers, the X-Men, Spider-Man, etc. It is a original concept universe, meaning it's set in like this almost pseudo-Japan style anime-esque version of the Marvel universe with its own lore and interesting stuff. Well, for me, there's two problems. The first problem is the fighting game engine itself is not a traditional fighting game engine at all. They based it on team-based combat with a lot of tagging and assists and a lot of flashy combos and a lot of high-hit scenarios. It's not a straightforward 1v1 fighting game in any means, and that's my staple stuff that I grew up playing. Even though, yeah, did I play the Versus series? Of course I did. It was humongous in arcades. It was one of my favorite series of all time. But this game pushes it to the extreme in the realm of easy mode gameplay. Auto combos that literally a baby could execute by just mashing a button like this. Whether you're playing offline or online, anyone can do a ginormous multi-hit combo ending in a huge super that does wild damage. All they want to do is cater to an audience that will sink money into their game for maximum sales, regardless of the fact that the game plays competitively well. They just want it to look flashy so people will spend money. That's right. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. That's not good. That's taking away the competitive nature of a game for the sake of sales. But every franchise has already undergone this. All those sports games that you love pretty much are watered down now. What about Call of Duty? Holy moly, is Call of Duty changed and watered down now from what it used to be? It seems like every single game and or genre of game that seems to be competitive eventually sells out and becomes this more easy mode mainstream stuff. And the problem with that is that if you want to play it at any kind of an entertaining level, you either have to give in to the bullshit and mash buttons. He tagged out in the middle of me hitting him? How did that even happen? Or you have to basically play a ton. Because you can overcome the easy mode nonsense if you play a ton to learn the ways around abusive stuff. Because, especially with modern fighting games, most of the meta, most of the high-end abusable stuff is learned within the first couple of days and shared on the internet. The first person who I played online in Marvel Tokon, the very first experience match I had on Thursday, was someone who had Blade, the vampire hunter. He hit me with an aerial jab, okay? Just a random jab in the air. He landed and just proceeded to do a 50% damage, 100+ hit combo, which was unavoidable because he hit me with an aerial jab. This was launch day, the day when it's the first time anyone should be playing the game, and the guy already knew a way to hit you with an air jab into a 50% loss of health. That is horrible. That is horrendous. That is a heinous day one gameplay experience. No one should be playing at that level in any competitive game on the first day of its release, period. So basically on PC, which is what I play on, that's my format, okay? That's my platform. This game was essentially unplayable and unfun during the open beta. Now, the weird part was people who played it on PlayStation 5 didn't report any of those issues. They basically said the game played well and liked it. So why the vast difference in performance between PlayStation and PC? I don't fall into the ultra casuals because I'm not an ultra casual. I try to play games at the very least at a level where I'm learning what the game is. I'm trying to learn more complicated strategies. Wow, what a great game, huh? This is gonna be a great game, I can tell. Oh, what? Aerial jab into a standing neutral, into a juggle, into this combo that doesn't end. This game is fucking terrible. I'm actually doing the combos manually. I'm not just mashing a button to get an auto combo. I'm inputting the combos like you're supposed to get optimal damage and things like that. I've played fighting games since I was a kid, so obviously I want to play it at a better level than just button mashing. I could sit here and button mash and win online in this game, 100%. I know I could, because it's so easy to play. But I would get absolutely zero enjoyment out of doing that. Zero. I would be bored to tears saying, okay, mashing buttons just to get hits in and just to get combos in and never actually, putting in the real inputs, the real motions, just doing all the easy motion. I would absolutely hate it. In the last 48 plus hours, the FGC has collectively decided they don't want to play Marvel Tokon on PC anymore. That the game runs like shit when you play it online. And here's the problem. If you're doing crossplay and you're on PlayStation 5 and you play someone on PC, everyone gets lag. Everyone stutters, everyone rolls back, and everyone has a bad time. So what's actually happened is the FGC has collectively agreed we're all going to buy this game again on PS5, and we're all going to play it with crossplay disabled, so the lag won't be present for those playing it on PS5. A little over a month ago now, that Sony publicly announced their desire and or intention to completely phase out physical games media starting in 2028. They outright said we will no longer create physical copies of games at all starting in 2028. The future is digital. Grand Theft Auto 6 announced we will not make any physical copies whatsoever of GTA 6. It will be a digital-only game. And what happened when those announcements came out? Everyone was up in arms. Everyone collectively on the internet got their pitchforks and torches out and said, no, we want physical. The future is physical. You don't own anything if you can't own it physically. You know what I'm saying? Everyone went nuts. What is the point? What did you accomplish? Could you move on with your life? Everyone was anti-Sony. Everyone said, we're boycotting Sony because of this. This is absolutely atrocious. We're not going to play anything on PlayStation. We're not going to buy PlayStation games. We're not going to, right? Across the board, it was a huge agreement that this was bad. Everyone dislikes this change and this idea that Sony has. Everyone is anti-Sony. So here we are. It is now early August, a month later. Marvel Tokon comes out. The entire FGC buys the game on PC. By the way, the game is published by Sony. These same people who had their pitchforks and torches and were all upset, they all ran out and bought Marvel Tokon in droves because it's Marvel, baby. It's the new Marvel game. But they ran out and bought it on PC. Guess what? The game sucks on PC. It plays like shit. It won't run well online. There's rollback, there's stutter, there's problem. So what did they do? They said, oh, let's buy it again on PlayStation 5. And let's set it now crossplay off so anyone who has it on PC can't even find anyone to play because we want our Marvel and we don't care about any repercussions or our behavior. We just want Marvel. So I want you to think about this logically. We just said to Sony, we don't want a digital future. And then a month later, you bought Marvel Tokon twice because it didn't work. How fucking stupid are you? Really? The game doesn't work on PC. No one can figure out why. So you went and you bought it again? And this is the company you strongly criticized, citing they're ruining gaming's future because they want to go all digital. You said you were going to boycott them. And now you bought their exclusively published game twice because you need to play Marvel because you're a hype beast in the FGC. These people are not very intelligent, folks. Very good. So the reason that they're doing this is very simple. They're desperate. The FGC knows that they need hype games to keep their community pertinent. If they don't have a new hype game every year, then people stop talking about the FGC and it lowers in its importance and it lowers in people caring about watching EVO and other tournaments, and people just don't give a shit. There's entire people who their livelihood is dependent on fighting games being prominent and talked about and streamed and played. So if Marvel Tokon doesn't succeed and ends up being a flop, they're out of money. That bag that they thought they were going to make is now gone. So what they're going to do is very simple. They're going to lie, they're going to hype, and they're going to shill, which is exactly what they're doing right now. I'm glad that they were honest and saying that the game sucks on PC. That's a good thing that they did. But anyone who bought this game on PC and then recommends you go buy it on a separate platform, even though you can't get your money back for the first version, that's irresponsible. You probably get more enjoyment snorting it up your nose than putting it in your mouth at this point. That's not caring whatsoever about your viewing audience and not doing the right thing. The right thing to do would be like, nah, you got ripped off. Don't spend money on that crap. Play something else. But the FGC can't afford to do that. This has been like this forever. We all got ripped off. All right? I played the beta, and after the beta, ArcSys came out publicly and said, this is why we have betas. To learn, to adjust, and to improve. So rest assured, we took all your feedback during the beta with the PC problems, and this will be fixed for launch. 2 weeks later, nothing was fixed for launch. It still runs like shit. Street Fighter 6? I don't think anyone could even consider me to be a tryhard or a sweat. Like, I would play a lot of it, but then I would still play other games. It wasn't that fighting games were my main focus, and I only played it, and I went to tournaments, and I did all that. I did none of that. I only played the game solely online. I only learned to a certain level. I got certain characters to master, and then I was like, all right, you know, that's enough. and I moved on and did other stuff. Moving forward, I'm not saying that I won't cover fighting games. I'm not saying that I won't enjoy fighting games, and I'm not saying that I'm never going to play a lot of a fighting game, but I can tell you right now, I have found my way of success being a variety creator, and support is very bad. We played the game for over an hour. Within an hour, I made $7. I made more money just hanging out with you guys before I booted the game up than I did playing the game. So why am I playing the game? Doing fighting games here, a shooter here, an RPG here, Pokemon one day, Assassin's Creed the next, Dark Souls the next. That's how I'm successful, because I jump around and I do variety and I don't get stagnant. Great. This entire thing was your idea. Integrating collectible cards and everything into my content was your idea. That was your feedback that allowed me to do that and do something different and do something interesting.
Why does everyone just say that all he does is talk about money and card openings? I don't get it. Well, because that's what gets them the view.
Whatever executive said this is a good idea, you should quit. You should go get another job. You are a terrible person at your job.